Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where I want to have a quick discussion about traffic in vanilla Cities Skylines. Not so much about things that I've talked about or at least touched upon previously, like the addition of yield signs or the ability to control which lanes are turn lanes and which are not. Those would be nice, but specifically, I want to talk about traffic in the vanilla game and how it creates unrealistic scenarios. So, as an example, let's hop down over to this interchange right here, this three-way interchange that I created. And let's go into the junction planner, which is in here. So, currently this is entirely uncontrolled. This is not realistic. If we wanted to make this realistic, we would put a stop sign here, a stop sign here, and a stop sign here. Anywhere else does not need a stop sign. So it would be something along the lines of this. However, in Cities Skylines, there's different considerations than there are in the real world. In cities, it's all about getting places as quickly as possible. So this stop sign here, it does nothing other than back this up. Sure, this traffic flows a little bit better, but this traffic is going to back up heavily. And we're better off having it completely uncontrolled because of that. In the real world, this wouldn't be a thing. Well, you might have merging on uncontrolled, but there would for sure be a stop sign here and here. 100%. And this merging on would probably merge into a new lane that would then merge over this way, or this would be a two-lane section, and this would be a lane coming off. It would be completely different. And there's a reason for that. And that reason is because in the real world, designing things like this, they're concerned about creating accidents. And that is something that does not exist in cities. And I kind of wish it did. There may be mods for it, but I'm purely talking the vanilla game here. I'm not super experienced in the cities mod scene. But it would be kind of interesting if they did a traffic overhaul. And I'd really like that. Like, an expansion that is focused on traffic, allowing you to set what lanes go where. Like, for example, here, if I hop out of the junction mode, I need to make sure that these are not stop signed currently. If I hop out of this map mode, like so, you can see here that this is set up, this is a straight lane, this is straight or turn, this is turn only. Ideally, I would like to be able to modify this. I'd like to be able to have yield signs. That would be great. And the benefit of a yield sign is it has the pluses of a stop sign here, where they stop if there's traffic. But if there's not traffic, they just go, and it doesn't cause the backup. That'd be super nice. Well, the other thing, of course, is I'd like to design intersections that are safer. Like, I think there's no reason, other than because real cities use them, to use stoplights. I feel like they're just objectively worse than an uncontrolled intersection in Cities Skylines because there's no such thing as accidents. Like, cars can clip into each other in this game, and I think that's a problem. It creates incentives to have dangerous intersections. Anyway, all of this came about because I want to overhaul this particular intersection, and I want to make it into something a little bit more like this, except it's going to have off-ramps coming over this way, like one-lane off-ramps, or actually probably two-lane off-ramps, matching up with these. So we need to take this whole section out, but first, the big thing that we need to think about here, and I'll just get rid of these sections, as well as these sections. The big thing that we need to think about here is which highway is the main highway. Because if you look at this down over here, technically because this is uncontrolled, this car I believe is stopped. Oh, that was awkward. These guys are merging on. And yeah, you saw this car slowed down to allow this car to merge on. And that is problematic. That's why I want yield signs, to prevent that from happening. In this scenario, this is set up so that this is the main highway, and this highway turns into it, essentially. So we're going to do that over here, except that the vertical highway is our main highway in this case. So I'm going to remove all sections of this highway here, back to here. And then we are going to bring in this highway to right here and right here. And then I want to curve this essentially like this, except it's going to need to go the other direction. So this is going to have to curve in down over here, and I'm trying to remember how I did it over here. Does that come in? Hang on, I need to check this. Okay. Just checking. So, in that case, this definitely is supposed to come over this way, kind of like this. Just like that. Which means that this is supposed to come in like this. It's not allowing me to do this because it's giving space already occupied, and I'm wondering how this is different. Okay. We can do it that way, but just flip direction. Whatever. That's fine. So we're going to create basically the same scenario here. We need to have this connecting in like that. This we need to connect in over here. It's not wanting to snap to where I want it to connect. If we go that way, it's curving the opposite direction that I'd like it to. Okay. Maybe if we get rid of this section and then build this in. Yeah, that worked fine. And then we're going to go down to the 2-lane one-way roads, and we are going to just simply curve this in like this, although we may have to go this direction. I mean, it works if we go straight. I'd rather not go straight, though, if we can help it. I think the problem here is this little connection. So if we use the curve tool, that gives space already occupied. Okay. We may have to curve it slightly differently. Like this? I mean, I kind of hate it. That would have to then come in like so. I guess it's theoretically viable, but I kind of hate it. Is this light residential? That's light residential. Okay, that's real awkward. This would then become dense residential. Yeah, I don't like this connection over here. I want to take that out. I still want it to be connected in. Like, actually, that works. That does the trick, right there. Okay, so let's see how that goes traffic-wise. Now, I suspect the lack of yield signs is going to cause a potential issue up here. We'll have to wait for the pathfinding to change over. Yeah, we definitely, 100%, need to have a stop sign here and a stop sign here. I really would rather they be yield signs. But I want this traffic to proceed as is. And once again, I would prefer this to just be a turn lane. I mean, maybe these connections here should just be 2 lanes, or 1 lane, perhaps.
On both your houses, the untold story of the invention of the box, and the family rivalry that nearly destroyed it. It's a tale about opening your heart, finding acceptance, and
I'm just watching the traffic right now, seeing how that ends up going. This is mostly a traffic episode, by the way. Yeah, see, this is the problem with putting a stop sign in. So if
is
we
a
took
host,
these out
your
at this
home.
point,
And that truly is
this backup
greatest
should go
box of
away.
all.
Although
Tune
it'll
in every
create...
Wednesday at
Well,
8
it
for
won't
this
strictly go away.
once-a-week
It
television
will...
event,
It'll
A Box
move
on Both
the
Your
backup
Boxes, presented by
and place it
Smart
in all
Packages,
4
the packaging
directions
specialists.
rather than just these 2.
Hello, I'm your host Al, and you're listening to Cities Radio.
So something kind of like this.
Sometimes I like to check our listener emails and see what people
And
are
yeah,
talking
see, that
about.
reduced the backup over here, but created additional backup on this highway because there are no yield
I think I might
signs.
go to the zoo again and try to communicate with the animals. Last weekend, I was close to a breakthrough, but a cow kept telling me to move and I lost my place.
And
So
here,
what are you
we have
listening
2
to this
lanes.
weekend? Drop us
But
a
the
word and let us
problem
know.
here is
Maybe I'll
that
see you there.
this lane is both straight and
Lock
turn,
eyes with
whereas
the
this
lemur,
lane
shake hands
is,
with the
if we can
turtle.
get one of
At the
these
city
cars
zoo,
to
you can
move, this is
experience
straight
the wild
only.
in our wildest
So they're not
exhibition yet.
utilizing
Come down this weekend
the
to meet
hybrid
our
lanes
newest addition,
as
a
much as they
three-toed
should
sloth
be.
named Barbara.
And that's a traffic
She'll
AI
hook you
issue.
with her
I'm not
smile
sure that there's
and hook
anything
you
we
again
can
with her
really
curved
do with
toes
that.
used to grasp trees in the
Some
wild.
of the cars are
After
using it,
that, take a gander at another new species.
but most of
A
them are
new
just
type
in
of
line
bird
here.
previously identified as a different type of bird due to a zoological error. Fun for the whole family. Book now
Which
and
is
get a
just kind of
free handful
interesting.
pellets to feed the fish. Limit 4 per family while supplies
I do
last.
like this
We'll
interchange
look forward
overall,
to seeing you where the animals live in
but I would
rooms
love
painted
to have a
look
yield
like
sign
home.
here,
The city
here,
zoo.
here, and here.
The wait is over. It's
That's where the
finally
yield
here.
signs would need to
Friday
be.
night chili bowling at Andy's Bowling Alley. Every Friday night, anyone who buys at least 2 games of bowling gets a free bowl of chili. So don't wait. Book a lane now. Due to recent incidents, the chili will
Because yeah, look
only
at
be
this.
distributed at the
They're
end
just
of your
they're
visit.
stopping
That way
on
you can enjoy
the
it wherever you want,
direct
in a park,
highway
at home,
to allow
or
these
on a
guys through.
construction site. In the meantime, you'll have all the fun
That's the
that
core
bowling
issue.
can provide. So come on back and be reminded that you're not actually
And they're only
that good at
utilizing this
bowling.
central lane,
Andy's
even though
Bowling
this is a
Alley.
3-lane highway. Now, this is a turn-only lane, and they're not turning mostly. Although, I just saw something go through that didn't turn. But this is a straight lane here. This is a straight and turn lane.
Anyway,
And some of them that are turning are just here, and they're barely using the dedicated turn lane. Which I find very strange. In other cases, they're simply using the hybrid, or simply using the dedicated lane and not using the hybrid lane. So I feel like there's a significant AI issue with the traffic, and they need to work on it. I do like this, though. And I feel like this is maybe better than these. I mean, if they fix the... Like, this is almost more robust if they fix the issues, right? But this doesn't really need to be highway here. So I think I am going to address this situation here to try to relieve some pressure up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take this out. This does not need to be an interchange at all. We're going to remove all of this, like so. And then we're going to take these one-ways just straight underneath, like so. And all we're going to do is standard on-off ramps. On-ramp. And off-ramp. And then over here, that slope too steep, because this pillar is slightly in the wrong place. Let's get that out of there for now. And let's move these pillars. So I want this pillar to be here and here. And this pillar needs to just go entirely. Something like that. Excellent. We'll need to flip this around. And then this would, of course, be... Let's see. This would be an off-ramp here. It put the pillars in the same place. Oh, that's awkward. Let's take those out of there for now and make sure that the pillars are right here. There we go. This would be an off-ramp then. I don't want it to go quite like that, though. Okay, that moved the pillar to be a different place, so we'll see if that's good enough. So then this would be an on-ramp. Space already occupied. Bad luck. Okay, we'll take this down like so. Pillar there. Pillar there. Pillar there. Pillar there. Now we should be able to do this. Yes. Off-ramp there. And on-ramp right here. And then we'll connect this in about like this. Although we need to swing this one out ever so slightly to be right there. Slope too steep. What? I'm not buying that. Okay, that's kind of confusing, but whatever. I guess we'll go with it. Okay, so that is going to relieve some pressure up over here, because this interchange was barely being used for exiting over here, so just having it be a pair of exits is probably going to be slightly better. We have a lot of abandoned structures over here. I want to address that slightly. So we'll do something like this. This is our commercial district, and they had insufficient customers. And so they were abandoned. Okay. There we go. Now we're having considerable backup here. But it's okay. This is cleaning up, I think. In theory. And this over here is not creating any backup at this point, so that's good. Technically, we don't need this to be a thing either, so I'm going to do the same exact thing here, and I'm going to remove all of this. I'm going to pause the game so that we don't mess too much with the pathfinding as we're doing this, and we're just going to take this directly over, like so, and then this directly over, like so. We'll do the same exact thing with the on-ramps and off-ramps. This needs to be an off-ramp, connecting in, we'll go right here. This would then be an on-ramp, connecting in right here. Connect that together. Same exact thing over here. Just like that. Okay. So that should smooth some of this out. This over here is fine being an interchange, although we may want to change it to one like this. Although I don't think that it's really the interchange design that is causing this issue. I think it is more the traffic AI, and the fact that there's no yield signs. Are we still running stop signs on this thing? No, we are not. So yeah, there's already an option between a stoplight and a stop sign. And I mean, maybe we should run a stoplight at this intersection here. And this one. We'll see what that does to the traffic. This is an experiment. Okay. This is maybe fine. I mean, this is still definitely very heavily trafficked, right? If we did that, and we made this... If we made this realistic, let's make this realistic, put stop signs here and here. Or maybe, yeah, a stop sign here, a stop sign here, traffic lights here and here. Let's see what that does to the backup. I mean, in reality, I don't think we would use traffic lights here. It's definitely causing a lot of backup, and I feel like this is more backup than it was when this was just uncontrolled. Now, of course, the downside to having it be uncontrolled in the real world is accidents. This would be a breeding ground for accidents, but that can't happen in cities. Well, anyway, that's enough traffic for right now, I think. We do need to put some residential in, and we have a water issue over here. Because we don't have enough water coming in, we need to expand our water pumping. And I'll just place this down and connect that in. Excellent. That'll stave that off for a little bit, and now we have ourselves a small issue with needing residential, and we've actually got a bit of a healthcare problem up over here. We have a hospital down there, but we don't have any medical clinics in this vicinity, so I'm actually going to put one right there. And then we'll expand the residential in this region to be something along the lines of this. Excellent. Oh, we don't care about traffic noise. We just care about traffic efficiency.
Astrologists report that a devastating meteor will strike the city in the near future. Residents should seek shelter immediately if any is available.
Okay, we've got a snow dump in the region. This is probably going to take out this train track, possibly our deep space radar and this waste processing complex. If it hits over here, though, we might completely get out of it. If it hits down here, if it hits in this region, we're going to have a problem. But I don't think we need to evacuate anything. What we do need is a crematorium over in this region, and I'll put one right there. Okay, let's see how this meteor ends up going. Where are you, meteor? Come on, you can do it. Yeah, I know a disaster's approaching. We don't need to evacuate. It's going to be over here. It's fine. Apparently, the meteor isn't too interested in hitting on our timetable. Who would have thought? Oh, there it is. Kaboom. Okay. Very little damage, really.
A meteor strike has occurred. Avoid the impact site and head to shelter if any is available.
Yeah, very little damage. So, we can repair this, and our train track will need to be repaired as well. So we just need to do that. I don't think... Yeah, it didn't take out any of our underground track. We just lost the snow dump. Okay. Well, we might have some flooding issues. This has created a bit of a tsunami, but I'm sure it's fine. Our fire helicopters are going to work on this region out over here. I'm actually going to drop a fire watch tower right there. But I don't feel like we need to address any of this. We can just leave this impact site here.
They're tools used to create. In fact, the most valuable camera.
The snow dump will be searched in a moment, in theory.
Only the best.
Snowplows are returning to the snow dump? That's awkward.
I really like being a radio host, but if I could change one thing, it would probably be to see the faces of all our awesome...
So what do we have for fire helicopters in this region?
Since I'm sitting in this booth all day.
We could put down another fire helicopter depot over here. It's sloped too steep.
There's nothing like watching a movie to take you to another place or time, and there's no better place to watch than
yeah, that space already occupied because of the train track. I mean, we could level an area over here. So it would be something kind of like... Yeah, we'll have too much soil, but that might get us enough space. So we would have a fire helicopter depot right there. Excellent. So that will help fight this forest fire.
So come on down and enjoy the movies where everyone's a star.
And these helicopters will be dispatched momentarily.
This is Cities Radio. I'm Elle.
Off they go.
Like the letter.
Excellent. And it looks like we are landing over here with our disaster response helicopter to search this snow dump for survivors. And that'll be done momentarily. And we are just working on this fire, which I'm sure will be fine. Okay, we can rebuild the snow dump. And there we go. That really wasn't too bad. It's like we've got a little flooding going on over here. But this will pass pretty quickly. Do we have any pumping stations in this region? I'm not sure that we do. We could put one in theory, somewhere over here, potentially? We'd have to take out all of those, but that's fine. We will, of course, need a water connection. There we go. And that should go pump out this water pretty quickly. And, I mean, this tsunami will die out soon enough. Yeah, that has dispatched all of its pumping services. Fantastic. Hey, this water might put out these fires. I doubt it'll get that far, honestly. It looks like it's flowing back into the river at this point. Yeah, it definitely is. Okay, well, there we go. Had a bit of a rant about traffic, and redesigned this. It's still not perfect. We still need additional throughput through here, but mostly it's because, look at this, they're all in the same lane. That's most of the issue. And we dealt with a small disaster. But for now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to continue our expansion. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.